Hello! Today's story is Miss Rabbit's Taxi. Peppa and George are at the supermarket with Mummy Pig. "That's a lot of shopping," says Miss Rabbit at the checkout. "It's for Grandpa," explains Peppa. "Granny is going away on holiday." Daddy Pig is waiting outside. "Where's the car?" asks Mummy Pig. "I didn't bring the car," replies Daddy Pig. "I didn't think you would be buying so much." "I'll call for a taxi," says Mummy Pig. "Hello, taxi service," says Miss Rabbit. "A taxi will be with you shortly." "I see you've been shopping," says Miss Rabbit. "Lots of shopping about these days. Shopping for this, shopping for that." "Miss Rabbit, why are you talking so much?" asks Peppa. "It's what taxi drivers do, Peppa," says Miss Rabbit. The taxi arrives at Granny and Grandpa Pig's house. Daddy Pig takes the shopping inside. Granny Pig calls for a taxi to take her to the airport. Luckily, Miss Rabbit is still there. Daddy Pig, Peppa and George go to the airport in Miss Rabbit's taxi with Granny Pig. "Goodbye, my little ones," says Granny Pig. "I'll be back soon." Mr. Wolf arrives on an aeroplane and gets in the taxi. "How will we get home now?" asks Peppa. "We will have to call a taxi," says Daddy Pig. Miss Rabbit drives back to the airport to pick up Peppa, George and Daddy Pig. On the way, she finds Mr. Bull standing in the middle of the road. "I'm supposed to be mending the airport, but my truck's broken down," complains Mr. Bull. "I'm going to the airport," says Miss Rabbit. "Have you got any luggage?" "Just this sand," replies Mr. Bull. Mr. Badger pulls a lever to pour sand from a tipper truck into the taxi. Miss Rabbit's taxi is full of sand. Miss Rabbit's taxi arrives at the airport. "Here's the sand," says Mr. Bull to his workers, lifting up the front of the taxi. Now Miss Rabbit can drive Daddy Pig, Peppa and George home. "Then you can have a rest," says Daddy Pig. "I should be so lucky," says Miss Rabbit. Miss Rabbit gets back to the supermarket. There is a long line of customers queuing up to pay. "Sorry to have kept you waiting," says Miss Rabbit. It's just another busy day for Miss Rabbit. Peppa goes around the world. It was almost the start of the summer holidays. Peppa was playing in the garden with her friends. "What are you doing over the holidays?" asked Wendy Wolf. "I'm going to the park," replied Peppa. Peppa was very excited. She was going to spend the holidays jumping in lots of muddy puddles. Peppa's friends were going on holiday all around the world. "I'm going to the jungle," said Pedro Pony. "We're going to the desert," said Emily and Edmund Elephant. "And I'm going to the mountains," barked Danny Dog. "What about you, Susie?" asked Peppa. "I'm off to the South Pole to play with the penguins," Susie Sheep grinned. On the first day of the holidays, Peppa and George climbed into the car. "Time to go to the park," said Mummy Pig. "Let's go!" cheered Daddy Pig. The little car bounced along the road. The engine went chug, chug, chug. "Oh dear," groaned Daddy Pig. "The car has broken down." Mummy Pig called for help. "Please come quick," she said. "This is an emergency." "Look," gasped Peppa. "Here comes Miss Rabbit's emergency breakdown service." "That was quick," said Mummy Pig. Miss Rabbit said it would take her all day to put things right. "But we want to go to the park," cried Peppa. "Don't worry," replied Miss Rabbit. "While I fix your car, you can borrow my aeroplane." "Airplane!" shouted George. Everybody climbed into Miss Rabbit's aeroplane. Mummy Pig took the controls. "This is fun," she said. "Are we supposed to be flying upside down?" wondered Daddy Pig. "The ground is in the sky and the sky is on the ground," giggled Peppa. It didn't take long for Mummy Pig to get the hang of aeroplane flying. "Next stop the park," said Daddy Pig. "To jump in muddy puddles," cried Peppa. Daddy Pig opened out his map. "Are we lost as usual?" asked Peppa. "We are not lost," snorted Daddy Pig. "I can see some trees. That must be the park." "Where are the swings and the roundabouts?" asked Peppa. Said Daddy Pig. "This looks more like the jungle than a park." Peppa gasped. Pedro was on holiday in the jungle. Mummy Pig pulled the handbrake and the plane fell through the trees, landing on the ground with a bump. Here was Pedro. "Hello, Pedro," called Peppa. "Are you having a nice holiday?" Pedro nodded. "It's brilliant. There are parrots, monkeys and everything." The jungle was fun, but there were no muddy puddles to jump in. "Can we visit my other friends on their holidays around the world?" asked Peppa. "I don't see why not," said Mummy Pig. It was Daddy Pig's turn to fly the aeroplane. "Where next?" he said. "The mountains," said Peppa. "That's where Danny is." Danny was enjoying his mountain holiday. "The best bit about climbing a mountain is that you're all alone," explained Captain Dog. "There's no one else around." Daddy Pig landed the aeroplane at the top of the mountain, right in front of Danny and Captain Dog. "Hello, Danny," shouted Peppa. "We're flying around the world to see my friends. This mountain is very high." Peppa and her family said goodbye to Danny and Captain Dog and flew away again. Soon, Daddy Pig spotted lots of yellow sand in the distance. "It must be the desert," he said. "That's where Emily and Edmund are on holiday," cried Peppa. It wasn't easy to land an aeroplane in the desert. "We've sunk into the ground," said Mummy Pig. "Why do they have to fill the desert with so much sand?" cried Daddy Pig. "Hello, Emily," shouted Peppa. "Hello, Edmund." "We've been studying a rare lizard," whispered Edmund, "but it must be shy because it's run away." "It had a scaly back and a long red tongue," added Emily. "Yuck," said Mummy Pig. "Lucky it ran off then." The lizard suddenly appeared on a rock. "There it is!" shouted Daddy Pig, frightening it away again. "Did you say you had other people to visit?" sighed Dr. Elephant. "Yes," said Peppa. "We've still got to go and see Susie at the South Pole. Goodbye, everybody." Susie was having a great holiday, but she did miss Peppa. "I wish Peppa was here," Susie sighed. Peppa's aeroplane landed on the snow and ice. "Peppa!" cried Susie. "Susie!" cried Peppa. Peppa and Susie were best friends. They were very pleased to see each other again. Peppa had lots of fun with Susie and the penguins, but they couldn't play all day. Peppa still had to go to the park. "Miss Rabbit should have fixed our car by now," said Mummy Pig. The aeroplane flew all the way back around the world. "Hello, Miss Rabbit," said Peppa. "We've flown all around the world." "Good thing I remembered to fill the aeroplane's tank up with petrol this morning," said Miss Rabbit. "Your little car is working again," said Miss Rabbit. Peppa and George climbed inside. Flying round the world was nice, decided Peppa, but something was missing. A muddy puddle! Peppa and George love jumping up and down in muddy puddles. Everyone loves jumping up and down in muddy puddles. Miss Rabbit's day off. Peppa, George and Susie Sheep have had a sleepover at Rebecca Rabbit's house. "It's fun having carrots for breakfast," laughs Peppa. "I could eat carrots all day," agrees Daddy Rabbit. Mummy Rabbit's sister, Miss Rabbit, pops in to say hello. "I can't stop long," she says. "I've got lots of work to do. I'm working at the supermarket, selling ice creams and driving the bus." Miss Rabbit trips over one of Richard's toys. Her ankle is hurt. "You must stay here and get better," decides Mummy Rabbit. "I'll do your work for you." Mummy Rabbit puts Rebecca and her friends in charge of looking after Miss Rabbit. Luckily, Susie Sheep has her nurse's outfit with her. "Don't worry," she says. "I am only a pretend nurse." Mummy Rabbit goes straight to the supermarket. "Miss Rabbit is ill," she tells everyone. "I'll be doing her job today." "Have you ever worked a checkout before?" asks Mrs. Dog. Mummy Rabbit has not. Running a supermarket checkout is quite hard. Miss Rabbit calls home. "We need more help," she cries. "This job is going to take me all day." Peppa phones Miss Rabbit's ice cream stall. Daddy Pig answers. "Miss Rabbit is ill. You've got to sell the ice cream today." "Ho ho," snorts Daddy Pig. "I'm an expert at ice cream." He gets to work. Selling ice cream is quite hard. Soon the ice cream begins to melt. The ice cream is all runny. "Ice cream soup, anyone?" asks Daddy Pig. Peppa phones Grandad Dog. "Miss Rabbit is very ill. Can you drive her bus today, please?" Grandad Dog gets to work, but driving a bus is quite hard. It's even harder when you have cars to fix too. Back at Rebecca Rabbit's house, Miss Rabbit is feeling better. "Can I get up now?" she asks. Susie Sheep shakes her head. "No, you must lie very still. But please keep breathing." "It's not easy doing all your jobs," says Mummy Rabbit at the end of the day. "It's not easy sitting down all day," says Miss Rabbit. She will definitely be back at work tomorrow. And that's the end of the story. If you enjoyed it, check out my playlist for more Peppa videos and like and subscribe to see what I post next. Thanks for listening. Bye!